So this given where they are right now with no Jaden Higgins, this trade is kind of a big deal. So let's get initial reactions to this. What did you guys think when you heard the news? Were you surprised that this trade got done? When it did? That it did? Share your feelings here with the audience.
Second piece of booty, Mike Vrabel's lost this offseason with Kayshon Boutte. I like the cost. I like the fit. I think the mindset is right. That was one of the things I first reached out to a guy I trust that covers the Patriots the most, closely. He said that the mindset is good, so he's definitely swarm. The system is similar, so it's an easy transition there. And he's a very low maintenance player, very efficient last year. I think Reggie probably knows it off the dome. I'd say, was it 43 or 46 targets and 33 catches? It was in his targets were in the 40s. He had 6 touchdowns and 33 catches, I want to say. So he's very low maintenance in a number of ways. So I think it fits well. Some reports were that they initially offered a 4th-round pick, or the Patriots wanted a 4th-round pick, and the Texans said no thanks. I think that's a smart decision. And I think the Texans get Boutte. And I do want to acknowledge that Jalen Reed's a good player. There's just kind of an embarrassment of riches at safety right now. And it makes the Kamari Ramsey draft pick make more sense because now you have a young safety that you trust to do some things. And I think you give Jalen Reed an opportunity to perhaps showcase his skills a little bit more. I actually think he could probably play closer to the line of scrimmage too. That just wasn't going to happen here with what they got. So I'm a big Jalen Reed fan. I was actually surprised they drafted him because I thought the safety depth was good at the time. It's gotten better. MJ Stewart looks like he's kind of intensifying, so he's going to be back. So I think you gave up a good player and you got a player at a position of need with little cost. So I think it's a really good trade by the Texans.
46 targets, 33 receptions, right?
Oh, nice job, Landry.
On top of that, while I'm being a stat guy, 16.7 yards per reception. Like, this is a real deep threat that you bring in. That's really the thing that was intriguing for me because I looked at Zay Jones and I was trying to squint because I'm like, look, man, I get it. Jaden Higgins is supposed to be a guy that helps you take the top off of a defense. And I was like, all right, Zay Jones, when he wasn't hurt when he didn't hurt his Achilles last year, definitely still ate up ground. I feel a lot better about Kayshon Boutte doing that, right? Being able to go up and grab the football. And on top of that, his completion percentage, catch rate over expected is actually what I was looking for. Best of all qualified receivers last year. So this is a guy that absolutely has done really well at the catch point, whether it's tight coverage, which obviously is something that might happen for him as a number 2 wide receiver. Plus, he has a little bit of versatility. You talk about the system and the familiarity that he has. That's great. But also, if you need him to play X, he can play X. And honestly, this allows you to continue to open up one of the things that I've been really excited that Nick Haley seems to be getting ready to do, which is moving Nico Collins around. That is still on the menu now with this addition, in addition to a few other things that Kayshon Boutte brings for you.
If you're ready to watch the Texans this fall, but you're not sure exactly where you're sitting just yet, SeatGeek can take care of you. The #1 sports ticketing app is here for you. For Texans football, man, look at all these different options. Maybe you want to start with the 2-step of the Bills and Bengals coming to town with MVP caliber quarterbacks. Maybe later in the year, you want to go see the Texans play the Chargers, or you want to go watch them play the Commanders, or maybe, just maybe, you're thinking Christmas Eve would be huge. Let's go watch them play the Eagles in Philadelphia. They got everything for you at SeatGeek, even the game that I really want to go watch on the road. That's the Green Bay Packers. Look at all these great seats at the legendary Mecca that is Lambeau Field. SeatGeek has it all. Over 70,000 events, plays, and music shows, and just about any sport you can think of. And right now, Collective 10 is going to get you 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. It's 10% off any tickets with the promo code Collective 10. Just make sure you click the link in the description, download the app, have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for 10% off when you use the code Collective 10. Boutte, for me, Reggie, you hit it on the nail on the head. You lacked explosiveness from the outside options. Like, you have guys that can go out there and play. Like, Xavier Hutchinson can give you snaps. Justin Watson can give you snaps. Maybe Jared Wayne as well. And, like, Jalen Knoll has explosiveness, but Knoll's primarily an inside guy with, you can move him around or do some things with him. But guys that could actually go out there and make big plays from the outside wide receiver, you didn't have that. And there weren't a lot of guys that you can go out there and go get. and you get Boutte and he does that. And, you mentioned the stat, Reggie. That's a good – by the way, that number, better than Nico Collins last year. That number, only better than like 2 or 3 wide receivers who regularly play better than Boutte in that number last year. It gets a pretty significant element of his game that he brings to the table. And he plays outside. If you had to play him inside, you could, but that's kind of what he does. He's going to be opposite Nico Collins or with Nico Collins on the field. You could put him on the field with Jalen Nolan. He gives you an explosive element that you didn't have. And I just like the price because I wasn't interested in trading for Kayshon Boutte when it was a mid-round pick in the 2027 draft. When it's a depth safety that was not going to start this season unless injuries occurred and a late round pick 2 drafts from now, it's much easier to understand why you would make that deal, why you'd say yes, why you'd add him. So the price was absolutely right for this Boutte, and I was pretty excited to see the explosive element added because Zay Jones wasn't going to give you an explosive element. Sterling Shepard wasn't going to give you an explosive element. They were going to make the team. The veterans that you brought in Friday, practice Saturday. I mean, not even rental. I hope it was one of those week-long stay things that they're staying at because they're not going to be here after cut down day. Boutte he's going to help you, and you mix him in with what you have. It's not like an easy just one-for-one replacement. I think that's the biggest thing. But you mix him in and see what he can bring to the table.
Yeah. It wasn't Jed York in a trailer park level inexpensive Boutte. Actually, that ended up being more expensive because he had to pay those fines and get a mugshot. So it wasn't that level. But it was pretty inexpensive, I would say.
I'm ready to go here if you want to, Sean. So I'm just going to be quiet.
Boutte for Boutte? You ready?
No, I'm just ready to go here to talk about the Jed York thing. That is not in our purview.
Yeah, I can put that.
$150, brother. Anyways.
Don't worry, I've got 20 minutes on it for tomorrow. Ted Johnson. He went to Notre Dame, by the way, Jed York. So I'm going to play the Notre Dame fight song underneath it and the whole thing. So Ted Johnson texted me today looking for information on Jalen Reed for his radio show up in Boston. Here's what he said about Kayshon Boutte. Ted Johnson, former New England Patriot, former Sports Radio 610 host, who hosts in Boston now, for those who don't know. You guys got a really tough player. He's limited in what he can run on the route tree. Definitely a one-trick pony, but his one trick is really good. He's basically a 9-route guy with really, really strong hands, which I think matches up with what we're kind of saying here. And that certainly matches up with his yards per catch. The 16+ yards per catch. So that was Ted's sort of scouting report on him. My thought about Kayshon Boutte just in general as a player, I don't know if people remember, but when he was a freshman, he started right away because Jamar Chase opted out of the 2020 season. So he got bumped up right away as a freshman on that 2020 team, following up that national championship team the year before. Going into the 2022 season, which was Brian Kelly's first year at LSU, if you go find mock drafts from that part of the calendar, I know mock drafts in September are a bit of a fool's errand, but if you go back and look at that stuff heading into 2022, Kayshon Boutte was thought to be a first-round pick by all the experts coming in, and he had a terrible first season under Brian Kelly. He was oil and water. He's not the first guy to be oil and water with Brian Kelly. My point is this guy's a really, really talented guy. And so I like that. I think he's going to be motivated too. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm doing the math, this is his contract year. This is a much better situation for him in a contract year than it was going to be playing behind A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs and whoever else they're throwing the ball to in New England. So I think this is a great opportunity for him. By all accounts, the Kayshon Boutte of 2026 is much more maturity and mentally wired to handle this opportunity than the one that got drafted in the 6th round and then came into the league and was the target of gambling investigations and things like that from his time at LSU. So I'm really excited about this. I like the fact that they're giving up a depth player who's really kind of still very unproven. I mean, Jalen Reed didn't play much last year. I was positive on Jalen Reed as a football player, but that was what they gave up instead of draft capital. I like that. I'm having a hard time finding anything to get upset about with this trade. I think it's a really good move by Caserio. This gives Kayshon Boutte time to kind of get acclimated to Houston.